Hey Fornia, thank you so much for the 4 month sub streak. Give me 1 second. Hello. Howdy gamers. Hope you're all having a good evening or whatever time it happens to be for you. Um, I have some sad news, as you can likely see from the title of the stream or from the list that is in front of us. I have cut the original Hate Bear. I have removed Gaddock Teeg from the deck. I want to go over that decision real quick because I think it's, I think there's a bit to it. I am sad. I like Teague. And I'm not restreaming the Super Bowl because I'm guessing that. Actually, I wonder if Twitch would even like uh give me a no, don't do that or what. I honestly have no idea. But also, I don't know. We've already missed the halftime show, so what's even left to watch, right? Um, so Teague is gone. Um, the reasoning behind it is that the the main reason I decided to play Teague was for his strength against the Beanstalk decks. Um, Primarily, or I should say, on the assumption that those by Beanstalk decks, we're talking about white ones that are playing Leyline Binding and Terminus and Fourth Aerlingus on top of the Force of Wills and the Lorien Revealeds and the things like that. Um, I can say, having played against that deck several times in paper with Teague, if you're playing against white beans, you should still play Teague. Teague is incredibly strong in that matchup. However, whether it's because of some peculiarities to the way the Magic Online meta works, or if it's just as simple as Triumph of St. Catherine isn't on Magic Online still, um, there's just not that many white beans decks. I have played against probably 4 times as many bug beans as I have against every other beans deck combined. Um, and Teague is okay there, but not nearly the card that we intend for it. I intended for it to be against the white Leyline Bindings beans decks. There are plenty of other matchups where he's good. I'm going to keep track of, how many matchups am I going to see where I'm really missing Teague, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, that's why I cut Teague. There's just not a lot of white beans decks online. Um, the If you're playing against white beans in paper, still play Teague. I know I will still be playing Teague in my paper deck for a bit. So that left 4 slots or three easy cuts. We can cut the Savannah and the 2 Teagues in the sideboard. Now we'll go over what we put in place of them. I cut an additional fetch land on top of that to fit in an Igandro, just because it's been a while since I've played with Igandro. One problem I think that happened a decent amount was that when you flood with this build that doesn't have like Field of Ruins and Rashadan ports and things like that, your lands don't help mitigate the fact that you're flooding at all, which I think was kind of a nice feature of the mana base in mono white before. Hopefully having a land that's also a spell will help with that a little bit. To replace the Savannah, I added a Shadowy Backstreet. This is the new cycle of fetchable lands that was printed in Murder at Karlov Manor. They come into play tapped, and you get to Surveil 1. They've been getting pretty rave reviews in Modern, which obviously is not Legacy, but also I know XJ Cloud has been playing them in his D&T builds that he's been testing and has really liked it. Basic idea here being that only play 1 in the deck, so you only fetch it when it's not a problem, and we have a decent number, especially when you don't also have to keep one around to fetch green for Teague. A lot of times we just have fetch lands that aren't really doing a whole lot, and you can easily just fetch this, Surveil 1, fix your draws a little bit. The cost of putting 1 in your deck is that it will often not be good when you draw it, but you only have one in an 80 card deck, so it's not going to happen that often. That's the idea anyway. So we're going to go with the one. The sideboard cards are mostly because Muxus is around everywhere online and is very stupid. Um, I like Cage in general. I think this was a suggestion from some friends when I was like trying to figure out what the 15th card would be. I think it's pretty smart. It's good against Muxus. Our direct combo hate is pretty low in this build because of the Cabal therapies. That's a thing I've mentioned before. I'm not super concerned about it, but it is a reality. And having a permanent hate card that we can put into play is good, and it also happens to be great against Muxus. Speaking of great against Muxus, but not really good anywhere else, people have been playing this Force of Despair card, and I'm kind of interested in seeing if it's at all playable here. To be clear, I don't think that we really pass any thresholds for realistically pitch casting this card very often at all. I'm not really even seeing it as a card that we're going to cast for 0 mana very often. I find that the games that I lose against Muxus are very rarely to the turn 1 or 2 Muxus. It's the turn 5 Muxus after I've stabilized against the aggro cards in their hands that I then can't do anything about because, you know, we just don't have that many cards that deal with a Muxus. So I think this card is realistically hard castable, especially in a matchup where you don't have to worry about fetching your dual lands. So that's my thought with Voice of Despair. I'm probably going to be hard casting it. I will consider myself lucky if I get to fetch. And that, I think, that's all the changes from the previous lists I was playing. Now we're going to try it out. Against fourth, maybe. Yeah, like any deck that puts multiple creatures into play at once, I'll think about it. It's okay against fourth. I would probably bring it in against like Cradle Control, maybe, not 100%. I'm not sure about 2 Backstreet, because kind of the... I think the strength in that card is that you get a pretty good benefit with it just like staying in your deck. And I think if you put more in your deck, you're going to draw them more, and that's not what you want. This hand does one thing, but it is a pretty powerful one thing to be doing on the play, so I'm going to try it. Yeah, I mean yes, that does happen. There are times where we don't have a lot to do with our mana, but like I don't think that's worth the downside of sometimes your land comes into play tapped and then you lose the game. I think that we want that to happen as little as possible. So I am going to stick with just the one right now. 2 Bloodchief's Thirsts. Calm down. That's not even a legacy playable card. Rack. Okay, that... Sure. I guess that starts making some sense. Recruiter of the Guard. It's at 3... Yeah, okay. So I want to keep my hand full. I'm going to recruit for a Lauren. I'm guessing this is going to be an Urza Saga deck. And also we already have a rack that we can kill with it. I'm so smart. Yeah, I'll sacrifice Recruiter, sure. They are certainly allowed to do all of this. I'll get rid of the Saga first. That's more important. That is a little annoying. I'm probably going to discard Cauldra to this Ileana then. Yeah. I could have. I'm choosing not to because I already know what I'm going to be spending my next couple turns of mana on. So I don't want to. The value in getting the backstreet right now isn't very high when I already know what I'm going to be doing this turn. So I would rather do it with the extra information of what this draw is going to be. I get to kill the Lily. I'm tempted to Skyclave the Dothy. Yeah, they're at one card left in their hands. I'll just make things simple. Yeah, normal matchups. Only the most normal matchups here. Oh no, I took 1 damage from the rack. Whatever am I going to do? Yeah, so now there is value in surveilling because we have, like, we don't have an obvious play for the next turn. I think we do better than that. That's better. Sad that we have discarded the Cauldra, but oh well. A lot of our other cards are just as backbreaking, so. A Tassiger, huh? Calm down. We can't even activate. Can't even activate him. It's just worse than Gurmag Angler. All right. Legions to Ashes, Lauren, and Battle of Bywater should all be good. And I think we are probably just cutting the Thalias because they are not likely to be good. And yeah, that's it. That was easy. I don't think so. I don't think compared to like any of these cards. I don't think they're a threat light. I think they're probably a grief deck. They just didn't draw one. I don't know what I would cut for Delnay. I don't think that Delnay is good. I hope that they are. The card is very cool, but I don't know what I would cut, and I think that card is kind of win more. It also doesn't look at the right stat. If it looked at toughness, I would be more interested. But This hand is great. No turn 1 play from them. Yeah, it's like very 3-drop heavy. Are you really fitting in multiple copies of the card? Uh, because it's not something that's ever going to be worth recruiting for. Um, so yeah, there's a lot going against it. I am not going to cast Stoneforge Mystic here, specifically because I don't want to give them a an easy way to use this mana here. I would much rather put them in a spot where if they want to kill things, they have to sacrifice one of their Urza Saga constructs to do it. Of course you do, Chylith. Of course you do. Well, that works. I will not be boarding in Yori on every matchup, but nice thought. I appreciate that you would save up your channel points instead of asking me for free. That's honestly really nice of you. Okay. This is totally fine. Yeah. Another Voidwalker. Yeah, that's fine. All right, you got a push or something? They sure don't. Sick. Yeah, I'm just gonna make things simple and get rid of the Voidwalker. I don't even know what other cards I'm really saving that for, so. And then I'm gonna Thoughtseize them, and then this Cauldron is gonna go into play. Yeah, that seems about right. Yeah, sure. Goodbye, Ensnaring Bridge. So that was waste. So they can theoretically, if they want to, Blood Chief's Thirst the Stoneforge, and then Smallpox, and then I'm going to Vial in this Wisp, reset the Cauldron, and then attack them for 8 again, and they'll have an empty hand. Oh no, oh no, guys, oh no, oh. Oh. Loses 1 life. I'll discard the battle. I'll sacrifice the Stone Forge. And I'll sacrifice the plains. Yeah, I'm just putting him on a, I guess, not a 2-turn clock, but upgrading it from 4 to 3 turns at least. In case anyone was wondering, Pox is not playable. I'm sorry. Hello, Enduring Idealist. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Keeping this. Yeah, waiting a turn is probably better, but if they are dead either way, right? It doesn't even really matter. If the game was close, I would have waited, but what are they gonna do? Thought sees it and then die immediately. All normal decks tonight. I do have to play this shadowy backstreet. I don't want a Solitude. All right, that's a nice draw. This would be annoying. Well, okay, let me think. So they're representing opposition agent. If we cast the Stoneforge, we can Solitude pitching the Recruiter, but that is worse than just waiting until we have swords up. So I think I'm just gonna chill, especially because they're on a mold of 5. I forgot that they're on a mold of 5. So I think I'm just gonna make it so that I don't have to. Yeah, sure. They are screaming opposition agent. You're right. What was I saying? When they're on a mold of 5, they aren't going to be super scary against me. So, well, okay, that's annoying. So I think I can afford to just play around it this way. Okay. We don't get the Stoneforge anyway, apparently. Okay, well, they don't have Bowmasters, so that's nice. And we get a Stoneforge. Yeah, probably. All right, cool. I'll just go ahead and do that now while they're F6ing anyway. So. End step Dark Ritual, huh? Okay, I was wondering if that's what it was going to be for. Our hand's really good, so like we'll live. But I want to get my cauldron into play. Annoying that if we cast this Thoughtseize, we can't cast any of our other cards. But I'm running. I guess Castle Lockthwain makes it so that I'm not actually running out of time for this Thoughtseize to get something. So maybe I am just supposed to recruit. I'm probably recruiting for another Stoneforge. Yeah, I am. If I draw a land, then I can Stoneforge for like a Batterskull and put it into play in the same turn, which is going to be really good. Ouch. This Bowmaster to kill the mom. Yeah, I can live with that. Rats. It is not a land. This is a spell though, so I'm just gonna Thoughtseize it. Okay. I guess it depends on your definition of spell, huh? But I will get a Batterskull now. Stop. Leave me alone. Yeah, take my Batterskull. Whatever. Stop immediately Thoughtseizing me when I get my equipment, please. It's kind of messed up. Okay. The bright side is that they now can't actually attack with the grief. So I've got that going for me. Okay. What do I want to do here? I think I'm just untapping. Hoping to draw a land for Solitude. Nope. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I stream twice a week also, and this format's great. I've been playing it forever, so and it will be my main format for probably until I stop playing Magic, if / whenever that happens. So you are certainly among friends. I'm gonna play this mom. I'm not really excited about this Containment Priest, but mom will give me good blocks. They still can't attack with their creatures really, because Bowmaster is going to trade with them one way or another. I also think this priest is going to be valuable as my Solitude pitch card. So I hope I don't have to. I just want to draw a land, but okay. So they attack with both at the same time, which makes some sense. I care more about this Exsanguinator Cavalry, so I will at least do this block, and then I actually don't hate this block now. They can only kill one Stoneforge, and neither are very valuable because the only equipment left in my deck are 2-drops. Yeah, this works. In a perfect world, I'd do it with mom untapped, but what are you going to do? Okay. Surprised they don't use that to trade with the Stoneforge, but I'm not going to complain. Man, really can't get a fifth land, huh? I am now going to do this. If they attack with the army, I'm just taking it. They don't, which I'm also happy about. I was just I thought that the next land I'm going to draw is going to be Caracas. That thought entered my head like a split second before this card appeared. I just should have known. I'm going to cast the Orion though. Stoneforge is going to get a Jite probably. Yeah. And then Recruiter. I already have the Solitude. I think I'll get the Skyclave to deal with something for less mana if I needed to. I could have also gotten a Flicker Wisp actually to get my Bowmaster back, but I'm not as concerned with that. Don't say it. Don't you dare say it. Okay, they conceded. Thank God. Okay, boarding here is going to go somewhat similarly. I don't know if I'm boarding in. Right, I want to bring in the Rest in Peace probably because they're a reanimate deck and maybe another Containment Priest. I don't want the Lauren though. They didn't show us any artifacts, but we're boarding out Thalia's and the Lauren, and then maybe that's just it. I think that looks about right. Yeah, this will work. Though I am now remembering that they're an ancient tomb with Exsanguinator Cavalry in their deck. I have to consider the possibility that they have Saw in half. In which case, Force of Despair looks okay. I'm not going to say good. I'm going to say okay. I think I'm going to wait for them to actually show it to me, though. Yeah, if you don't know what that card does, I'm sorry. You have to read it. It's really stupid. It is another Unfinity card, for what it's worth. I will keep this. It is somewhat weak to a what's it? The word that I am looking for is opposition agent. I am going to play around it by just waiting until I've played the second fetch land, because at least I have the swords for it. But I'm not going to try to fetch a plains here, have it get oppoed, and then not be able to cast Mom, and then have no lands. Wasteland works for me. I am only getting basics. Okay, cool. I think I am going double planes here because I don't have any black cards in my hands and I have two double white cards. Is that who Oppo? Oh my god. We've blown this door wide open on this conspiracy. Holy shit. This is a parenting in joke. Nobody else is going to get this but me and Katie. But yeah, I think we learned something. We just learned something. I'm just going to go double mom and hopefully they don't have double bowmasters. And if they do have double bowmasters, good for them. Okay, sure. They do kill them both. They could have waited until their turn to cast that snuff out in case they drew a bowmaster, but yeah, she loves saying Oppo, and we don't know why, but we might have just figured it out. Since we already have a Cauldron in our hands, I'm going to get a Sash so that I have a card to cast next turn if I don't draw a land and they kill my Stoneforge. Love that for me. It is, of course, now annoying that we can't fetch a basic swamp with this, but oh well. I'm wondering if we just get another plains, honestly, because of the stupid wastelands. And I kind of want to just do it now. Yeah, I'm just going to ignore this Thoughtseize in my hand for now. Sure, sure, sure. You got it. Yeah. Do I care about any of this? I don't think so. I really don't know. Of course, now we've drawn two black cards, but oh well. I think I am just going to hold up putting in Sash plus swords here. If they attack with both, then I just have lethal. Ooh, that's a little bit exciting. So yeah, I am going to let this happen. They're going to attack. They go up to 7. Their idiots get big, but we put in a Sash, make it a 2/2. They only go up to 7. We battle everything and then kill them. Yeah, cool. Yeah, Recruiter and Stoneforge are both optional searches. Three black cards in a row. Oh, right, I forgot this wasn't going to get pumped, so maybe this was less good. If I swords it, they go to 9. They're still taking 5, 6, 7, 8. So I could pump for the 9th damage. Hope it didn't get too cute here. Would have killed for another land here. I'm just going to start with this attack, I think. And now I can swords this. Yeah, okay. I think we're going to be okay. I don't think I played that right because I forgot that the other cavalry was not actually going to be pumped, but I think we're going to be okay because we still have the swords in our hands. They are discarding a Dothy Voidwalker. Okay. They loot away a swamp. Swords the cavalry, they go to 7. I'm going to take this 3 because I don't think 9 versus 6 is very meaningful, and maybe we'll get a good Battle of Bywater to kill it. They have to have a pretty good draw here. Okay, well, that's not a good start. Voidwalker into Grief? Is that the idea here? Into Swift Ends. Okay. You're just... No, they're not dead. I'll get the Voidwalker out of your library, but you go to 5. No, you are dead. You are just dead. Okay, cool. Alright. Mono black. Number 2 has been defeated. They were playing it for the Knights synergy with Exsanguinator Cavalry, obviously. I sadly might not be wrong about that, but that's my best guess. Yeah, this thing will work. Yeah, famous combo here. I will fetch a basic plains with this. And Vial. Urza's Workshop, huh? I am not going to enjoy this match. I hope that I win. I don't think I'm going to have fun getting there. That's pretty nice, but I'm going to wait to do it until next turn because I want to culture them. Yeah. I can't even... Oh, they goofed. They forgot to actually tap their monolith for mana before untapping it. Mox-Up will bail them out. Relic of Sauron. Okay, at 2 mana. Yeah, okay. I believe this mom is going to be attacking this game. And Urza's Workshop is turned on, but they still only make 1 mana off of it, so I am just going to get rid of their City of Traders. Another City of Traders. Alright. Untap Monolith, go to 5, 6, if 8 total mana. Yeah, they are probably going to Paradox Engine me, and I'll just be very sad. It's a whole 8 mana. There's the Paradox Engine. Yep. And I assume... Yeah, it's pretty much gonna kill me thanks to Relic of Sauron, huh? They're just always gonna find a card to cast. Of course. It's always the One Ring. This is definitely going to be a matchup we miss Teeg, that's for sure. The frustrating part about these matches is that I really would like to see the card they kill me with, so I'm going to give them like a minute or two. What do they get off card? Walking Ballista. Okay. There we go. That was easy. Legions to Ashes. Lauren for sure. I want therapies. I don't think I want surgicals. Getting rid of... man, I have a lot of stuff that sucks. Definitely rid of the swords. I'm probably going to board in the surgicals because they're more likely to do something than like... These moms I just don't care about because I don't have Teeg in my deck. And she wasn't that great before that anyway. Definitely don't want Jite. Want like a Solitude at most. I'm going to play Cage, assuming that they are playing Mystic Forge. If they are playing creatures, they're going to die to Battle of Bywater, so I think that makes them at least somewhat better than Solitude. There's a lot of other cards in my deck I'd like to board out, but I just don't have the cards to bring in. I've already cut 11 things, so what more can I ask for? I'll actually board in... These moms aren't good, but I think they're going to be better than like the Containment Priest and... what else? Maybe it's just that. Yeah, at least it's a cheaper card to flashback therapy with, if nothing else. Well, this certainly could do something. We'll see. Let us see what we thought sees. Alright, they have plenty of mana. I think I just take the Karn. They can't cast either of the 4-drops on turn 1, which is good for me. I'm kind of more interested in hitting Karn with this Surgical, though. So I think I want to do that in their draw step, and then I'll follow up with the Thoughtseize the turn after that. Put the stop in their draw. Because sometimes these decks are kind of built where they can't actually win the game unless they have Karn to get something out of their board. So not always the case, but it's worth. Oh my god! And I sniped it out of their hand. Let's go. Okay, they have Emrakul in their deck and Argentum Masticores. And it looks like that is it. Oh, and there is a Sagas. Okay, so the little removal we have in our deck is definitely going to be pretty pressured. But thankfully we have Stoneforge. So we're going to be able to put a clock on him pretty quickly. I'll take a quick screenshot of this too. Okay. Yeah, okay, I guess I could have waited one more draw step if I'm surgicaling that anyway. That is a fair point. So with DC Workshop, Opal, Manifold Key. Okay. Yeah, I pretty much have to take the Relic, and then I'll play this Vial, and then we'll go from there. I get to play an Urza Saga, which isn't great, but we have some time. Actually, they can't, because they don't have... I guess it depends what they draw, but they don't actually have the mana to make a Construct this turn. Right, they're right. They don't need to make a Construct this turn. What am I talking about? Another Surgical. I don't really want that yet. But I will get a Call Draw. There is the Ancient Tomb. Kaldra thankfully blocks infinite Saga tokens, which is good for us, and we get this Wasteland. Is it worth? Yeah, I think it is actually worth hitting this Saga right now, because I might Surgical that now. Yeah, you get a Construct. It's a 3/3. Yeah, I'm attacking. All right, I will in their draw step Surgical the Saga, just again taking cards out of their deck that matter. Unfortunately, the One Ring is not something that I have an answer to right now. They do have the mana to cast it and untap it once. They're going to draw 3 cards off of it. That's pretty gross. I'll have the Skyclave at least to answer it, but it's only kind of an answer when they're going to be drawing that many cards. Okay, One Ring comes into play. They draw 1 card. They draw 2 more cards. This is a free attack, so they should definitely be taking it. Like how all of this 8 damage I dealt to myself. Okay, I'm going to use this file, get the One Ring out of there. And this is going to get my Yorion. They are taking a lot of damage off of these tombs, but I'm currently pessimistic that that's going to matter. It's a relic, okay. They have Mox Opal to untap all of it. Okay. They don't have that much mana, thankfully. At least they don't yet have enough mana to be both using to use a relic to loot and make sure they hit more spells. But obviously they have 2 cards in hand still, so. Alright. That starts changing things. Alright, there's the Masticore. It's just, right, they discard a card and then they get to, yeah. Remember when Masticore was just the downside and instead was just zero, like, you have to have a card in hand, but then you just get to kill stuff for free. Another One Ring, okay. You know, I think I'm good. I think I'm done with this. What that Masticore card does is, like every Masticore, in your upkeep, you have to discard a card. If you don't, it dies. That used to be the end of the story with Masticore. Now it is, oh, I'm going to discard this 2-drop. I now get to kill one of your 2-drops. Or less. So they can just, like, discard a One Ring, for example, and then kill anything CMC4 or less. So it's basically it's the card that they board in to punish decks like this from boarding out removal. Because it's also just a 5/5. It definitely puts the fun in fire. That's a definitely a way to look at it. Hey, Agonjo, what's up? Haven't seen you in a while. I am going to keep this. Yeah. A blue deck, finally. I'll lead on a Mesa. I mean, it's a really good card when you're playing against Null Rod, right? It's a 5 mana card that you can just cast, and then it also kills the Null Rod. Like, it does a lot. Like, yeah, like that's a big problem with the Turbo Forge decks is that like they just kind of die to Null Rod, uh, Collective, things like that. Um, and that Masticore lets them play a different game plan by going aggro with creatures and Urza Saga, while also presenting an answer to a universal answer to every card they care about, every hate permanent that they care about. Days, that's mean. I didn't expect days at a Tundra. Could be breakfast then. Smelling like breakfast. Wish I had fetched an underground sea now. Um, I actually like playing Thalia into Wasteland here now. Do I care more about black or white mana? I'm gonna guess that I care more about white. Could be slow doomsday. I don't think that's super likely. It's possible, but that is not how I'm gonna read the situation at this point. Yeah, Tundra Doompo. Okay. Don't Bowmaster me, please. Cool. It is pretty tempting to Bowmaster here, especially because. So normally, if I'm playing against a breakfast, I just want to hold back Bowmasters as removal for the combo turn. Importantly, this Thalia still being in play means that they can't actually kill us next turn, because they have to spend all of their mana to go to play Nomads and Illusionist, at which point they can mill their deck but can't cast any cards. And that's also obviously under the assumption that this is breakfast and not something else. Scrubland, huh? Breakfast is not usually a Scrubland deck. Let's see how this attack step goes. There's a Bowmaster. Probably going after the Thalia. Could go after Bowmaster. Okay. That's fine. You go to 7. Do I want a Thoughtseize or do I want a Bowmasters? I think I want a Thoughtseize and then just put lethal into play. That's where my head's at right now. Okay. I guess a pre-combat Thoughtseize would have been better than. Okay, it is in fact breakfast. Then I have a feeling we might actually just be dead then. Let's see. I'll take Force of Will. There's not really any point in taking the other cards. They did play Marsh. Yeah, that sucks. I did not read them having the third brainstorm there. I have tried Samwise and Wasteland. I don't like it. Not a fan. It's just so mana intensive, and we don't need another thing that's mana intensive for a long term plan. I haven't really been. I like Samwise a lot more as a way to consistently hit your land drops in builds of D&T with fetch lands. That is where I think he is good. He can also do like Wasteland or Solitude shenanigans. I think people focus way too much on that being the reason to put him in your deck when a lot of if you are in a situation where you're able to do that, I think that things are already going pretty well for you. I'm just letting them do this so that I can see what's in their deck. I see 2 therapies, 2 step throughs, 2 Teferi. Looks like 2. At least 1 or 2 orange chance. Yeah, pretty typical breakfast stuff. Okay. Well, that was an annoying way to lose. If we had kept up that Bowmaster, we would have won. Or no, we wouldn't have actually because no, they had us either way because they had the second Nomads. So as long as they play a Nomads and then play an Acephalid Illusionist, which they did, we didn't actually have a way to beat them there. So I take that back. We have a lot of cards to potentially bring in, and I usually don't actually bring in that many of them because this matchup tends to be pretty good. We start by cutting the Batterskull and the Thalias. Lauren is usually fine, although Skyclave is definitely better, except against Urza Saga. But I find myself tending to cut Lauren just because of there aren't that many hits. She doesn't deal with like the more efficient form of the combo, I guess. I think I remember now I'm cutting moms, I believe, because you don't really care much about your cards staying in play. You're just trying to present as much removal as you can, and mom doesn't really help that much with that. Um, could cut Lauren. I'm gonna, and then I think it's wisps actually. I think maybe wisps, and then bring a Lauren back in. I think that looks right. It is actually worth noting Force of Despair can stop a combo turn. Um, yeah, it can because as long as you've cast the Force in response to them milling things, then it'll basically kill all their creatures before they get to flashback the dread return. So that I think that's actually worth bringing in and trying. Um, I'm just gonna cut the last wisp. Wisp is not that good in this matchup. I think the only card it's really good against, other than like flickering your own stuff, is Urza Saga tokens. But I think of like the dozen matches I've uh, played against Breakfast, I've lost to Urza Saga tokens once ever. I like this hand. I'm gonna keep this. It's like, why is my opponent? What are they trying to cast in my upkeep on turn one? Um, ooh, that is tempting. Hey, Snow Schwartz, thank you for the follow. So this hand needs a lot of help unless they just like find a nomads and frag me. But I think the card we want to get rid of here is Brainstorm because they this hand is just playing off the top of their deck and not a lot of cards are good if we take away their cantrip. So surprised they played the Scrubland there. I could take a turn off of a 2-drop here, and I think I'm going to anyway, so yeah, I am going to play the Shadowy Backstreet. I do not need another land, so I'll bin that. I think that I am probably just recruiting for a Solitude on this upcoming turn. Hey, Strass Daddy, how is it going? How'd your stream end? Hello to you and all of your viewers. 2-3, that's brutal. Yeah, I am going to recruit. Don't play it to Fairy. I don't think they're listening to me. I think they're about to play it to Fairy. Nice, they didn't play it to Fairy. I'm very, very thankful. Ooh, that's a really good draw too. Hiya. Cool. Okay, so yeah, I am going to Stoneforge for Umezawa's Jite. Although they do have a prismatic ending in hand. Jite doesn't stop the combo. Because they can just ending that while I have counters. When I'm supposed to get Cauldra just to get a clock on them, especially with how much interaction I have in my hand, that might be the play. Yeah, especially because it's more mana efficient. I think is the big tiebreaker there. Because if I'm going for GT, I have to cast it this turn and kind of go shields down ish, or I have to spend my whole turn next time, or all of my mana next turn doing it. Neither of which feel very good. Kind of tempted to just cast Containment Priest now to have my mana freed up a little bit. I am going to do that. I think I just want to get my layers of interaction into play now. This could meet a daze. That would be annoying, but if it doesn't, then I'm feeling pretty good. Yeah, cool. I am not gonna... They didn't have a Bowmaster last turn, so I'm guessing they won't have one this turn, but while I'm in a pretty good position, I just don't want to let them trade a Bowmaster with a Containment Priest. Swords on the Cauldra. Okay. It's another removal spell that I now know that they had. Oh yeah, they already played that Delta, so that's gone. I feel like they have to Prismatic Ending this Containment Priest eventually, and the sooner they do it, the less damage they take. So I'm guessing they're going to get it now, but we'll see. Yeah, okay. And they read me as having more removal in my hands, which they are correct about. I don't really want another land, so I'm going to fetch here. Yeah, that's a good one. Surveil land so far has been fine. I've fetched for it once and drawn it twice, which is kind of the opposite of what I wanted. But it seemed when I saw it that it was probably going to be fine. And I know XJ Cloud has been playing an appropriate Surveil land in the builds of D&T that he has also been playing. So I'm hopeful that it's going to be good. And the nice thing is that it might mean one fewer dual land that some people have to get. So what am I taking here? No reason to take the Shuko. I could just take the Cephalid Illusionist so that they're as far away from comboing as possible. I could also take the Force of Will because I have enough answers for the Illusionist. But I think I'm just going to take the Illusionist because it also... it gives me more... if I draw a Surgical, then that's a way to just win the game on the spot. It is definitely a power move, that's for sure. I'm going to get a... What do I want here, actually? I wonder if actually putting Yorion in my hand was the play. I'm going to get a Stoneforge, though. There's the Shuko. All right, what do we get here? A Caracas. I don't think that really changes much, but all right, this is where we just figure out how are the ways, how can we lose this game? The best thing that they can have is cast Teferi into cast Cephalid Illusionist. The best thing that we can do against that is put a Lion Sash into play. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to let that resolve. And just to be clear about the Teferi line, the way that it would work out is they go to bounce the Sash before they play the Illusionist because it's the only thing in play keeping them from going off. In response to the Teferi being cast, I will... actually, maybe that doesn't actually do it. So, if I cast the Bowmasters in response to the Teferi, then... maybe we might not act. I guess it's possible we just don't have outs to Teferi, actually. Because they don't... yeah, I guess we don't. I guess the out to Teferi... no, that would... no, yeah. Teferi's kind of busted in their deck, turns out. I think we might not actually have any outs to them. Playing Teferi plus Illusionist. Thankfully, they didn't do it, so we're alive. This is 7 damage coming across. Could easily be the full 10. Yeah, Teferi's a bit of a bummer. Not gonna lie. Kind of a dumb card. I don't think that we are going to change anything here. I might rethink board keeping in moms, because we do. I guess we do kind of have like 3 cards that are good in play against their combo. Might be worth bringing in some number of these. I just don't know what we're cutting for it, really, is the problem. Yeah, I just don't think we have the cards to cut. right, game 3. Start out with kind of a stinker. I am going to toss this one back, unfortunately. If one of the 3 drops was a land, I would keep, but we're not keeping that. My opponent also mulled to 6. This hand is actually pretty good. It's not amazing, but it's pretty good. I think we keep this and probably bottom the wasteland. We go turn 1 Thoughtseize into turn 2 Rip. If we get to Thoughtseize like it's a fairy or a prismatic ending, so that the Rest in Peace stays in play longer, then that's good for us. We need to draw another white source for the Skyclave, but I don't think that risk is worth getting rid of it in favor of a wasteland. So I'm going to keep this bottom of wasteland. Ooh. Damn, they took my Thoughtseize. That's messed up. That's not cool. So I'm probably just wasting them then, honestly. Let's see what we draw here. Okay, yeah, I'm wasting them. I'm glad I bought into the second wasteland, I guess, because apparently we were going to get a third. We fetched for it once, I think, and then I've played it from my hand twice. That is scary. Yeah, if they just play Illusionist, we're dead, so I just have to keep them off of it. I hope I'm not going to now regret putting the third wasteland back if they play another dual land, but we'll see. I have a feeling they're just going to have the lands, though, because I think they would have fetched for a basic here if they could afford to, so... Or I think they would have fetched for a basic if they thought they really needed to. Although I think they probably should have anyway. I don't know. Oh my god, we are alive. Boy, okay. Nothing to do but just slam my cards now. Make them have an answer for Rest in Peace that isn't a daze, and that they, yeah, well, we'll see what happens. Okay, if it's a daze, that works, because that means they can't Illusionist us next turn, and then we get the Skyclave the Shuko. And at that point, we've bought ourselves a lot of breathing room. Okay, I really don't need more lands, deck. Please. Please chill. Please let it resolve. Just let it resolve. Yes, okay. Alright. There's swords on my Skyclave. Deal. Take that. They are brainstorm locked, although Urza Saga, depending on if we stop drawing lands or not, this could be a game where Urza Saga is a problem. I think I'm going to take this turn to cast Containment Priest and fetch for Backstreet. All right. They are not getting their first construct, at least. Or their second. Get out of here. Lands, go away. Thank God. Okay. So I'm almost certain that they have an illusionist in their hand, so they can just float mana off of Urza's Saga and put a Shuko into play, then cast the illusionist. Thankfully, they need to do that and have a removal spell for the Containment Priest and have a counter spell for this Solitude. And they have to have a land to also cast the removal spell here. So I am feeling pretty okay right now. And the fact they are not even going for Shuko, which I think makes sense. In that case, I think I'm just going to wait one turn so that I can cast the Solitude around Daze. Alright, Thassa's Oracle is there, so if we draw like a Surgical or a Sash... Actually, wait. We can... Cool. We can get rid of the Thoracle next turn. And then the game is over. Gonna wasteland the bejeepers out of them. Alright. Whoop. We'll start with this attack. Hey Daniel. Glad. Welcome. D&T is great. I upload all of my VODs to YouTube. Do I have... damn it, I don't have that. But yes. All my VODs go to YouTube, youtube.com/Akaleth. In fact, here. I have a message that goes out like every hour, but I don't have a command for it. So there you go. Those are links to my Twitter, my YouTube, and my Patreon. All my VODs end up over on on YouTube for people who can't catch it live or people who want to look back on it. So I am going to go ahead and exile their one Thassa's Oracle and leave their win conditions at attacking me with Bowmasters and one Urza Saga worth of construct tokens. My opponent is salting at me. I will just let them do that and continue to play the game. That is usually how I go about it. Cool. All right, go into the last match of the league. Yeah, obviously that game went pretty well for us, all things considered. We did get to wasteland them 3 times. That said, they had multiple instances that they could have fetched a basic and chose not to. Um, I also, I thoroughly believe in the idea that you shouldn't make your emotions about losing a game your opponent's problem. So I think that's just the polite thing to do. Yeah, there you go. That's a good example. Like get it out. You get to have your feelings. You get to have your frustration. Just like don't target it at your opponent who got to play their deck and do well, right? It's not their fault. Last scene today playing black, huh? Are we going to play another black deck? I am going to keep this. It's a little bit clunky, but we have a lot of early interaction, so that's the one exception, Carador. If your opponent is playing Mystic Forge, then you absolutely have every right to go off on them. That's where I draw the line. That's when bullying becomes okay. Yeah, Thoughtseize me. Take my only 2-drop probably. Yeah, you can clip that. Just clip that, bring it up. Like you go to FNM, you like lose a draft match, and you're like, hey, this legacy streamer said it's okay to fucking yell at you. I think that Muxus is pretty dumb. I don't like it. I don't like playing against it. I think that Sticker Goblin is dumb. I don't know what to do about it. My current, obviously, I mean, I'm playing this dumb Force of Despair. I don't know if it's going to be good, but we'll see. Like I have slanted my deck in favor of doing better against it because I know that it's kind of a problem. But my overall stance right now when it comes to the decks that I don't care for in Legacy is that Modern Horizons 3 is gonna be here soon. I was gonna say, I feel like their Thoughtseize double griefing all my removal spells when like once this Stoneforge resolves, I don't need to kill the grief. I think it just like did not actually. Okay, that's funny. I just don't think they properly identified the cards that um, they were supposed to be afraid of there. I think we are kind of rough to a wasteland either way, so I'm just going to make sure that I have white mana still. And I'll just get a Cauldron. I mean, the funny thing is they printed Merfolk in. They printed a few Merfolk in Modern Horizons 2 already, and it went like didn't change much. Let's put it that way. But yeah, I don't know. I was talking a little bit with some friends today about it. I think the thing that I really want is I just want them to prove that they know how to make a white card that is good on its own merits and not dependent on being good against a thing that your opponent is doing. I think that's been a problem with like the vast majority of the white cards that they've printed lately. There's no Ragavan, right? Like, sure, that card's dumb. We shouldn't necessarily use it as the example for the kind of card we want to print, except you should, because then, we get white card quality equity that we so rightfully deserve. But like, there's no card like that in white. We don't even have like a good one drop. Like, name one, right? It's kind of embarrassing. Um, there is unlikely to be any mono white content for as long as I feel like the black splash is good, which I don't think is going to change anytime soon. Please attack. Damn, they don't attack. I'm going to keep the Lauren around for as a Solitude pitch card then. Yeah, I know. Isamaru deserves respect. And I don't mean that as a joke. Isamaru deserves respect, um but yeah, like there's if I could go down a laundry list of like wish cards that I would like them to print in Modern Horizons 2, like one that comes up all the time is like rest in peace, but on a 2/2, right? Things like that. I hope they do that. I also hope again they just make a white card that is good. That's just plainly good. Esper Sentinel is okay, but it is again a card very heavily predicated on what your opponent is doing. If your opponent isn't playing a lot of inexpensive spells where their power is very dependent on the efficiency, then Esper Sentinel isn't a good card. Um, I'm gonna do this. Let me just get that all out of the way. There we go. Okay. Sure. The initiative mechanic is probably like the one thing that breaks that. Um, because yeah, initiative is dumb. But even then, like, it's not like the card isn't good. It's the initiative mechanic that is. White Plume Adventure is like a vanilla 3/3 basically, but it does put the initiative into play. You can't say the same for Ragavan, right? Ragavan does like a million different things. I don't like surgical against the like scam builds because it's only really good if it's in your opener. Uh, it's a really bad top deck, and if they're just like griefing or trolling you, like you can beat that. You don't need a bad card like surgical in your deck. In a sense, you don't want surgical in your deck because you want the contents of your deck after you get your hand shredded apart to be as playable as possible, and surgical does not fit that bill. They Thoughtseize my Thoughtseize. That's fine by me. This may be supposed to just fetch a plains. I'm going to be really sad if this is like Dark Ritual into... Okay, cool. We're good. I was thinking Dark Ritual into a opposition agent. I was not properly playing around to that, but that's okay. I'm going to get a Sash because I don't think that the Stoneforge is going to live, and these decks just kind of suck if they don't get to cast Reanimates, so... And it's hard to cast Reanimate with Lion Sash in play. Deal. I am going to spend my mana exiling this Polluted Delta right now so that I don't have to worry about Lion Sash dying to Orcish Bowmasters. If this is a... Okay. Maybe they're going to double Bowmaster it, in which case, deal. I would love to draw a white source. If I could go Skyclave into Mom, that'd be pretty nice here. Nope. But I will still cast a Skyclave. Get rid of the opposition agent. And next turn we can recruit, get a Solitude, or a Stoneforge. Either, honestly, would be good. I'll take 2. That's fine by me. Happy to see my opponent continue to draw lands. I would like to draw my own. That's not quite it. I think I'm actually going to take this turn off of Recruiter. I'm just going to cast Vial, and Bowmasters is going to... casting Bowmasters will stabilize me here. I'm not under that much threat, but like this 2/2 will be a problem if I never deal with it, so... Another troll, another swamp. Reanimate the troll. Okay. Fine by me, and then they play the swamp. Okay. Yeah, we are going to be A-okay here. Go ahead and ping. I'm just going to get stuff off the board. Their Bowmaster doesn't matter, but the fewer things that are in play this becomes. Thanks for the watch streak, Toast. It is not like subscribing, but thank you for being around anyway. Finally, we drew another lands. I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye to that troll, and yeah, we're ahead on clock here. Please attack with Bowmaster. I guess actually it doesn't matter if they attack or not. Yeah, okay. I would like to declare this game over. I don't think that they know about my Jite. I'm pretty sure that was in my opener, so. No judges here. Yep, alright. There they go. They concede. And we get a nice 4-1. Only losing to stupid the One Ring decks. Which we are definitely weaker against because we don't have Teeg, but that's okay. Wouldn't have brought in Teeg against any of the other decks, so there you go. I at one point was bringing it in against Breakfast, but I think I decided that it was a little too weak. So I think my current boarding does not bring in Teeg in that matchup. We still got an hour left, so I'm just gonna hop into the league and we'll get some more action going. Funny you ask, JR. We have played it from our hand twice, and I think we've fetched for it twice. So we have been surveilling. It coming into play tapped from our hand when we played it did not matter very much. Look, I wasn't going to tell them. I was just going to do it. You didn't have to say anything, Katie. By traditional taxes, I assume you're referring to mono white. If I'm also assuming you mean mono white Yorion and not mono white 60 card. If that's true, I think that mono white Yorion is fine. I think that there are ways in which Spirit of the Labyrinth feels better than Orcish Bowmasters. I think mostly it feels a lot worse. So I think the power level certainly of mono white is not really there for me. It has its own benefits. You can definitely make the argument that Spirit of the Labyrinth is better against like the Beanstalk decks because you need to actually control their resources, not their life total, and that's what Bowmaster does. You could also make the argument that Port is a decent card to have right now. I think that makes some sense in some places, less in others. I think it's definitely better than not playing Legacy, and I think you would do fine with it if you played it. I don't personally have any interest in playing it right now because I've really been enjoying playing the black cards. Thoughtseize even more so than playing Bowmaster, although Bowmaster is also very nice. I think the mono white build definitely it just by only having access to one color, you just have a lot of blind spots that I don't think the color really handles. Not to its fault, it's my favorite color in the game. Just like I don't know, we've been. I think the fact that mono white still plays Spirit of the Labyrinth, a card that was not good when it was printed and only recently became okay because they started putting draw a card on every card that isn't white, kind of speaks to how it's behind. It's not. It's much to my frustration. It definitely feels like it is behind. But Yorion's still busted, and it does crazy things. And I think that, for all that I will be playing the Black Splash, I think Mono White is still a fine deck. Oh, CCD Smash again. Please don't. Please don't beat me this time. MTG Just Roll, thank you so much for the follow. I am going to keep this one. Oh, thank you for the subscription, too. Thank you. Subscription? What word did I just say? Thank you. Thank you very much. The Prime sub, in fact. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. So I've been playing D&T for fucking 10 years. This is going on my 11th or 12th year. I've lost count. This is the first deck I played in Legacy. It's gonna be the last one I played in Legacy. Um, so that is the insight from someone who's been playing Thalia for a very long time. Yeah, I don't know. I just like it's funny. I've mentioned this origin story before. I started playing the deck because I thought the name Death and Taxes was cool. Um, I just thought the name was cool. I didn't know that much about what it did, um, but that's what I was going for. And then it just ended up being like the most fun I've had in like any game ever. Um, so here I am, still playing it, uh, dying to Urza Saga now. um, yeah, so I started. It would have been the first time I played. I was proxying it in college. I want to say it was like the end of 2012 going into 2013. Um, we are getting Lion Sash here and hoping it's enough, and it probably won't be. Did play Sarah Avenger. I think Sarah Avenger was in the stock build. Eventually, we went into Mirror Crusader in different metas. But I remember very much playing Sarah Avenger and Mangara in my main deck. I'm so dead. This game's over. Oh boy. All right. This vial's gonna get needled too. I'm so dead. CCD Smash loves playing decks that I'm really bad against. One thing I also distinctly remember from really early D&T decks was like how disrespectful our mana bases were. Like, how do we get by with 9 planes? I remember a list that I played that was like 9 planes, 2 Horizon Canopies, and an Iganjo Castle. Um, and then I cut the Iganjo Castle because it literally never did anything. I'm pretty sure every D&T player who played back then went through that exact evolution of, these lists have Iganjo Castle, and then it literally never gets activated to do anything ever. Um, and the 2 canopies are just like so ridiculous. And it eventually just became, oh yeah, we were supposed to be playing this entire time. We were actually supposed to be playing 12 planes. um, we don't have a lot of good options here, unfortunately. I don't think I ever actually played with 2 canopy. I definitely played with 1 for a while. I mean, you are right. Feature sight foils are beautiful, and that's why I still have mine, even if it will not be in my deck probably ever again. But man, does it look so good. really would like to draw white mana ever. um, well, yeah, I'm not paying a lot of attention to this game because I'm gonna lose, but we're getting a little bit more room than I expected us to. Um, I also used to watch Bara all the time. Two of the foil ports that I own actually are his. It were the ones that he played in the. Two of them are the ones he played in his match against Joe Lissette. Um, I wish that I could say I owned all of his, but unfortunately, I had already gotten two of them from someone else when I then saw on the high end Facebook group that he was then selling them. It was the saddest thing. Um, I am definitely sort of playing this kind of fast and loose. I am surprised that we're in the position that we are. Um, God, don't tell me to recruit Scarab Swarm. I'm gonna ban you. Um, but yeah. What was I saying? Yeah. So I do have the goat ports. Two of them used to be owned by Bara. I wish I could say I had all four. I don't know where the other two are. I was just great. I was just glad that he was willing to split up his set to send me two of them. Um, what am I even? I'm gonna get a Lauren here. Yeah, Scare Swarm would be really good here, wouldn't it? Really makes you think. Just double Ancient Tomb. Oh, that's really bad for them. Yeah, I can wait. I can wait a turn. Yeah. No one has asked me to board in Yorion while you've been gone. I'm sorry or not sorry to say. I really did not. I didn't think I'd get this far. Classic Plankton meme. Yeah, they get a nothing. Um, Lauren the Exploration, Skyclave, nothing. Recruit for I don't even know what. I guess I'll get a Solitude so that I'm protected from what is the word that I'm looking for? I really just didn't expect to be in this position right now. So I'll do protect myself from Dark Depths. That's what I was thinking of. They copy Maze. Yeah, that makes sense. Take 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, I should be dead next turn. even through double maze. Really did not expect to win this one. Sick. All right. Whew, I did a lot of talking that match. And I don't know whether any of it made sense, but hopefully it did. So against lands, I cut all the Thalias. I cut Jite, and then I usually cut... Yeah, I usually think I cut some number of swords for battles because I'm usually not dying to Dark Depths. I'm dying to construct tokens. So getting rid of swords in favor of Battle at Bywater is usually a good play. Bowmasters are not good, but at least they attack, which you cannot say of Swords to Plowshares. And I think that is going to be it. There's a lot of cards we want to board out. We just don't. We can't get to them a lot of the time. Yeah, we'll go with this. Oh, like Containment Priest, actually. I probably should have boarded that out maybe for another Swords. They'll be fine. This hand is okay. This hand ain't bad. Oh yeah, sorry. Someone asked about Delnay, Streetwise Lookout. The answer is basically I don't know what I would cut for Delnay. They're an exciting effect, but if you are able to cast a 3-mana 2/2 and then do other stuff after that, and your opponent just kind of lets it happen, that feels like a very Winmore situation where you could have just played a good card for the first instead of Delnay and still won. Delnay also doesn't look at the right stat. It'd be much better if it looked at toughness, because then you'd at least be able to like double a solitude effect. Ooh. I was going to cast Mom, but I guess now I'm casting Vile. Pretty much always happy for any land start that doesn't involve Urza's Saga. I spoke too soon. At least they had to use a crop rotation to get there, but yeah. If something is getting wastelanded, I want it to be the Igandro, so let's play Stoneforge. Stoneforge is going to get Sash here, I think, because we have Wisps to deal with the construct tokens, so we just want to be safe against Life from the Loam. This Saga is unfortunately pretty likely to get a Needle for Vile, which we're going to be sad about. Yeah. At least it is not followed up by another Saga. Okay, kind of followed up by another Saga next turn, but... Okay, yeah, I will take 5, take this up to 2, but be sad about it. Yeah, these constructs are much too scary, so I just have to get rid of one of them right now. I guess I was supposed to get rid of the untapped one and then I could attack for one, but one damage is not something that really matters in this matchup usually. I do not like getting double wastelanded here. No, don't do that, please. Ugh. So you're saying there's a chance. Never mind. Just kidding. Yeah. I was wondering if it was going to be a Tabernacle follow-up. Just makes too much sense. I think here we are probably just paying for Wisp then. And solituding the construct. Yeah. I'm going to keep this at 3 for now. Not paying for Mom. I am paying for Wisp. I am not paying for Stoneforge. Okay. It's something. Yeah, I wish I just had that Mom in my hand to pitch to this Solitude now, so I think I probably shouldn't have played it. Yeah. Alright, well, they can now stage Urza Saga, and this game is feeling really bad. Wasteland? No. Swamp isn't awful, but it's not that good either. I think the line here is recruit for Lauren so that we can unlock this Aether Vial, because that's going to be what gets us out of this. And I'm holding back Wisp because I think I need it to block. Although it might be, I guess they're probably going to put a Shadow Spear on something anyway, actually, in which case I'm much more likely to be jumping with the Recruiter of the Guard. Okay, they aren't staging the Saga at least. It gives me a little bit of hope. Another expedition map, okay. Okay, I don't think that I can afford... Oh, actually... Okay, got the line. We are chumping here, taking 6. Next turn we can evoke Solitude and Wisp it after we cast Lauren to kill the Needle on Vial. And hopefully we draw a white card that we do not mind pitching. We have to keep this vial on 3 right now, unfortunately, because we have to kill the needle at sorcery speed. That actually might be fine to pitch. We're starting with this either way, so let's kill the vial. Lilagoy, thank you so much for the follow. I'm not dead, but only just barely. Do that, and then I think we are double blocking one, and then yeah, that's what we do. You are exactly right, Douglas Jones. That is what we were doing. Andre Prada, thank you so much for the follow. How's it going? Hope you're having a good evening. I am getting swords. Well, fuck. This could... I mean, this is going very badly. But if we draw a wasteland right now, we might actually be in a really good position. If we don't draw a wasteland, then we're in a worse position. But there is just barely a chance that we get out of this. The fact that he cracked the map on his turn definitely gave us a little bit of hope there. But now this is going to be the 3rd set of Saga tokens, and we are out of stuff to deal with it. So, what did he discard? Discard Yavimaya to the Mox Diamond. Okay. I think our one hope is to play Sash because it's going to be good against a Loam, and also it's the one way to actually start outscaling the constructs. So they're going to make one. We're going to chump it. Oh god, because we can't trump if they have if they play a Shadow Spear, and then we just cry. We'll see. Blech. We are actually just dead then. Yeah, because we can only block 3 of this 6 damage, so we have been vanquished. Dang it, who just followed? Whoever just followed, I missed the alert. I'm so sorry. Thank you for following. Give me 1 second. The alerts on my side are kind of tough to get to. Chilith, you're going to tell me to board in Yorion, and I'm going to say no. I'm going to board in a little bit more removal after that game. Knowingly, if we had a Swords to Plowshares over this Containment Priest, we would have been okay. Yeah, I'll do this. Yeah, this looks a little bit better. I'm going to board in Force of Despair, huh? I'm not going to do that against lands, but I appreciate the thought. Oh, Douglas Jones, thank you very much for the follow. It'll deal with a construct. To say that it deals with constructs plural is incorrect. This hand gets destroyed by a wasteland, but Thoughtseize, specifically Thoughtseize on the play on turn one, is quite good against lands, because if you can get rid of their Mox Diamond or Exploration, then things really slow down for them. Hey, there's an Exploration. What do you know? We don't really have anything for that Life from the Loam, unfortunately, but we'll figure out what the next steps are eventually. I'm guessing they're going to play Boseiju into Expedition map. That seems most likely. There we go. So the second Thoughtseize is... Oh, well, there we go. I was going to say, the second Thoughtseize isn't great. But this might be pretty good. It's possible with the map already out, I'm actually supposed to just get a Lion Sash? Oh, they got Wastelands. Okay. Well. Yes. Okay. That risk may lose them the game here. We'll see. Yeah, map gets them Maze, but they're doing it a whole turn later than I thought that they were going to. It's also still important that when they map for Maze, that's cutting them off of both of their Saga constructs. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they're definitely not dead yet, but it changes the math a lot when they are at like 8 and not 14, you know? Okay, they played the Maze. So this is their hand still. Skyclave on the Mox Diamond here is pretty sick, huh? God, I have so many black cards in my hand. I think I just have to get the scrub lands and be sad if they waste me. I guess the thing is, there's no chance they don't waste me next turn, right? In which case, I am not actually using any of my black spells. I mean, when I'm doing this, they aren't going to do anything next turn anyway, right? They make a Saga token, and then they just float mana. And the only thing they have to do is play low and waste me. It's like a forced play. It's the only thing that does anything for him. I guess the other option is they could maybe get another map off of the Saga and map for another base. That's a possibility. But it almost seems more likely they're just going to play Tabernacle from their hand, actually. We'll see. Oh, they have crop rotation. Okay. That changes things. They probably get Yavimaya here. Okay, they just go for second maze. That also checks out. Here's Mox Diamond pitching the Tabernacle, and now they get to Loam. And what do you know? They get to do all of that and still have a land drop for their Wasteland. Wasteland, Saga, Tab. Okay. Probably tabbing, though. Yeah, okay. I'm going to pay for all of my creatures except the Cauldron, which I don't have to pay for. This is an interesting spot because they can loan back whatever we waste unless we waste the Boseiju. And their hand is Force, Saga, and Waste. The main problem with wasting Boseiju is that we're only dealing them 1 damage a turn. Which is not very much. If we waste a maze now, then we get an extra 2 damage in, which is not very much. Oh, true. They have They have Waste and Saga in hand, so I'm not taking them off of any mana. I guess the line is probably play Wasteland, and then there might be a line where I like end step waste their Tabernacle so that I don't have to pay. So I get to unlock my mana at least for a turn. The only problem is that I don't have any incentive to do that right now. I really hate playing against lands when I don't get to attack with my creatures. What the hell do I do? I don't feel good about anything, which means that it might just be that we pass. Things don't get better for us, but I don't see a way to use our cards that make things better right now. I'm even tempted to not go Wasteland pass, because if they... It gives them the opportunity to like force me to waste their Tabernacle, and then they just loan it back and play it. Where you get like actually no value out of the Wasteland if we put it into play. So I think we just have to pass. The other option is, do we attack with everything, pitch legions to this Solitude to kill the construct so that we can at least attack for this much damage? But I don't even think I want to do that because them paying for this construct on that Tabernacle is actually kind of a problem. So I think I'm just passing. This is a headache. they dredge into Stage Swords map. Okay, they play Saga. Probably gonna play Loam on, I guess, Stage Beseiju. Yeah, that makes sense. So they have Stage Beseiju, Wasteland, Force of Vigor, and some other card in their hand. I think paying for all of these creatures has lost its value right now. The only problem is I don't know what I'm doing instead. But yeah, I don't think this is a valuable use of my mana. Oh. Huh. So what you're saying is I can just waste Saga and Surgical it right now. Yeah, I mean, it makes the game take forever, but when Saga isn't in their deck, that becomes a lot less of a problem. I don't want a Surgical Loam because I want to make my Wastelands better. Um, right now they're kind of just blank cards, and Loam has to get a lot for that to actually start mattering. I guess it has to find a depths, but they usually board out a lot of depths in post board games. Yeah, there is a single dark depths in their deck. Yeah, Surgical Loam would probably die to Stage Saga in 15 turns. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I need to be aware of a Doorkeeper Thrall, apparently, a single Dark Depths, and there is a Ghost Quarter in this deck somewhere. Or there was. There's no longer a Ghost Quarter. Am I going crazy? I don't think I'm going crazy. So I think it is literally Dark Depths is the way that he wins, and it's the one Dark Depths. So, yeah, okay. Um, oh, I should have put Yorin in my hand there. I'm thinking. There's been a lot of thinking going on. He finds the depths, so he has Stage Depths in hand. Plays the Waste at least, so it's Depths, Savannah. There's got to get something good. Oh, I can get Lion Sash with this. I haven't gotten my Lion Sash yet, and it's probably gotta be the right get here. Yeah, it's Sash. Ideally, I draw a black source so I can get rid of the Force of Vigor. But yeah, the Sash is what makes it so that I have a shot at making sure this depths only happens once. Yep, I am aware of the Force of Vigor. Yeah, if only I could Thoughtseize the depths. Feels like it'd be fair, right? Okay, there goes my Caracas. plays the stage. It's Beseiju, Force, Depths, and Savannah are the cards in their hands. This Recruiter is useless to me. Now we're getting somewhere. Take the Force. Get rid of Force and Beseiju. There we go. Still don't want to cast the Sash because they have the Beseiju. Not attacking because they just have the Maze. Hello? There we go. They turn it into a basic Plains. Okay. There goes the Savannah. Waste and Savannah. Okay. I think that you are right. I'm not expecting to win this, but I am going to maximize my chances at the very least. And there's the Savannah. Okay. Well, there we go. That solves the problem. It doesn't solve the problem of winning the game, but it means that we will no longer lose it. You got me. Deal. Yeah, we are literally just trying to not time out. That is the only problem. And Tabernacle certainly doesn't help our case there. Yeah, the problem is I can't F6 because then I actually lose, or I can lose at least. We'll see. Nice. Drawing all these lands now. That's actually really nice. Oh yeah, I guess I don't need to keep the Sash around, right? Because of the surgical. I was thinking I needed to, but I don't actually. That is not the card I wanted to cast. This one. There we go. I tapped an extra mana. We'll figure it out. It's fine. Because I don't actually have to pay for that. Yep, I know. I know. I know, video game. We're going to make it. Promise we're going to make it. No, it's going to take so much longer now. Alright. Cast in Stoneforge. I should turn this into a Plains first. Oh, Moto is so laggy now. Unsurprisingly. Alright, stage is another maze. You got it. Okay, F6. I think this Besage is going to kill my clock. Or not Besage you. You know what card I'm talking about. Yeah, Tabernacle timeouts. Worst feeling. Okay, another maze. Okay, sure. Going as fast as I can. We are now doing a damage at a time, at least. Goodbye. Oh, God. Battle Buyer. There we go. Not casting that card, that's for sure. Oh my God, put the right target on. There we go. Okay, gotta make sure I targeted that right. Depths. Okay. The triggers might be always yesable, but it doesn't save that much time when I have to tap all of my lands to make the mana for it. I love when I immediately press F6 and suddenly I'm down 4 seconds. The Moto timer is just so impossible. Yeah, we're out of here. Well, that sucks. I don't fault people for not scooping. Like, I play to the clock. It's a real win con. It's an important part of playing, honestly. Losing to tabernacle triggers in particular that take up like so much time sucks, but you know, on principle, I don't fault people for not like scooping. So I did get rid of all your win cons. I drew the second surgical on like the last turn where it felt like you were maybe gonna go for it. And it took me too long to realize that you were not playing towards it. You were just gonna try to delay me. But yeah, nothing I could do there really, other than maybe I figure out the mechanics of getting through tabernacle triggers faster, because God, they take so long. Whew. Well, that is all of the time that we have tonight. That I like how we went from like a 2-hour league to a 1-hour game. But that's how it goes sometimes. Yeah, it was like the 4 mazes I was going to be able to play through. I'm not sure that even with good mechanics, I can kill you fast enough through the gaining 20. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. Like, it probably could have taken a considerable amount less time, but probably still not enough time to win there. And the real way to win is to there was a turn that I spent like 3 minutes thinking about where the end result was I do nothing. And I think I just needed to identify that the correct play was to do nothing a lot earlier than I did. Anyway, all of that said, we successfully surveilled 4 times, I think. It coming into play, at least thus far, didn't really hurt us. Still wish I had Canoptic Scarab Swarm. Would have made would have made some of those matches a little bit easier, or some of those games. We didn't play against Muxus though, so I can't tell you what Force of Despair would be like. Other than that, it didn't come into play in any of the matches that we played. Jasico, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome. So yeah, I think this is, especially for having drawn it twice, I'm surprised that uh, this has just thus far basically been all upside. Um, so that's pretty cool. Um, Worth noting that it's gonna make people's decks cheaper if they have to get one fewer scrub land, which is pretty nice. Um, I think fitting it into a green splash is definitely going to be a little bit trickier. We could just potentially cut a scrub lands, but you'll definitely get less benefit out of it because you know playing with only two colors, you have a floating fetch land a lot. When you have the green splash, usually that fetch land you're keeping around is slated to grab your Savannah when you draw Teeg. So it'll be harder to get the value out of the surveil land if your final fetch lands is kind of hanging around for the Savannah. At least on paper. I haven't played with it yet. We'll see. Um, Only missed Teague in one of the matches we played, but this was definitely a very weird league. We played against mono. We played against slightly different flavors of mono black 3 times. So, oh well. um, and we only missed it against a matchup that's really hard. I mean, Teague is great against the 4-drop, the 4-drop artifact combo decks, but you usually need Teague and also a bunch of other things. So, oh well. So I think we will just have to wait until Thursday to see if this Force of Despair is any good. We'll see. But I think that is going to be it for us this evening. Let me double check if anybody is streaming that we could potentially raid. It's been a little short on legacy streamers at this hour the last couple times I've ended my stream, but we will see if someone's around. I am just now acknowledging that I have 85 viewers right now according to Twitch, which is pretty sick. Thank you all for being here. That's one of the bigger streams we've had in a long time. Although I am now looking that there are no other legacy streamers, so maybe some of you are here for that reason. I don't know. I hope you liked it anyway. Follow me. I stream every Thursday and Sunday starting at 9 p.m. Eastern, going until about midnight. Always playing D&T. And basically always playing D&T. There's been a couple joke exceptions to that rule. Hey Jared, you said it, not me. Strass Daddy is cool. He rates me. He's the only other good one. But yeah, thank you. Follow me on Twitch, on Twitter. Have a Patreon too. Since we are on our way out, let me just copy. Again, I have a message that goes out about every hour, but I really got to attach it to a command, so I don't have to copy paste this. There's links to all my stuff. I did literally earlier today post a new video on my YouTube. For those that don't know, one of my Patreon benefits is if you subscribe with the $10 tier, every month we will basically go over a match that you played together. You bring a recording and we'll talk about it, talk about our approaches to the matchup, go play by play, see where maybe you made mistakes, maybe where you misidentified what your role was, maybe when you didn't use your cards correctly, things like that. Happened for the very first time. A very close friend of mine had a great match against Bug Beans that we reviewed, and that is now on my YouTube as of 11 a.m. EST today. And I hope you really like it. Check it out. Hopefully going to be more of those coming as I get more people who have matches for me to review. So, and it was the first time I have really edited a video or made a thumbnail ever, and I did it in just a week after putting the baby to bed, 4 nights this week. So I hope you're proud of me. But anyway, I think since there's nobody really around, we are just going to call it. Thank you very much, people both new and the regulars for watching me. Warms my heart that you like watching me play these dumb white cards over and over and over again. Um, but it is now officially midnight, and I am going to sign off. Have a good night, and I will see you all on Thursday.